Dance, two-step killers, violent marches, circle, sick romance, absorb transmission. Will you stop? Bangers, boots, and bodies crushing, bodies picked up off the floor. You die to hear your favorite song. Radio deadly, yeah, radio deadly. Whoa. Dying days of dreams.
Everybody, hello. Check 1 2 1 2. Oh. All right. So this is the what I call the Radio Deadly Show. The Radio Deadly Show is different from the Michael Graves Show. Radio Deadly Show is it's just long form commentary, topics. Could be anything. Could talk about anything. But it's usually like opinion, Generation X attitude, politics, talk, and opinion. It's my original podcast, radio show idea that is now 15 years old. And here it is. I was prompted to come on here and do this because there was a news article that came out from San Francisco today that pissed me off. Before I get to that, so that's the Radio Deadly Show. And then the Michael Graves Show, like on here, there's not like, the Radio Deadly Show, I'm not going to play live. There's not going to be music videos. It's not going to be like that. Paul comes on, back in the day, Arturo would be on, Loki would come on, Bobby, Chibo. I'd have people on, interview them. You can still go to censor.tv, where I used to broadcast the Radio Deadly Show, where there's still a whole bunch of really cool episodes that you can watch, topics. And if you want to dig into what my opinions are on things, that's the place to go. Go to censor.tv and check out the large volume of Radio Deadly shows that are archived on the censor.tv platform. So Radio Deadly, Generation X attitude, politics, talk, and opinion was like the tag. The Michael Graves Show is going to be something different. The Michael Graves Show, as a lot of people who have been watching me do these streams this week have seen, I play videos, concert footage that I have, pictures, talk about music, stuff like that. I'm not going to go into, or I'm going to steer away from, it doesn't usually happen that I go long form on anything that like I'll be doing tonight on this Radio Deadly Show. Don't forget tomorrow, if you're watching this, and it's Friday, January 16th, at about 7:32 p.m. on the Eastern Standard Time Zone. Tomorrow, Saturday the 17th, I'm doing an acoustic show, an amazing acoustic show. You can still get ticket access. Go to officialmichaelgraves.com, officialmichaelgraves.com. It's a live online acoustic performance. It starts at 4 o'clock tomorrow. The ticket link's going to be turned off at about 1 p.m. Eastern time so that I can set all this stuff up and try to make it sound good. I did not expect to do anything tonight. I wasn't going to stream. I was just going to work on like a set list or something for tomorrow. But I found this article came out, and I got it this morning, and I got pissed off because it's such a it's like, yeah. It's like, it's like when you're walking and you have a blister and your shoe just keeps rubbing against it and it hurts. And you have a long walk, right? You can't stop and you can't do anything, but you know that there's a blister there and it's starting to hurt and it really bothers you. That's what this whole thing is. This whole cancel bullshit that I have to deal with, that I'm doing. I'm not coming on here I'm not complaining about it, because it's just, I'm documenting it and I'm confronting it. A couple of days ago, I was saying, you know what? I'm just going to let this stuff roll off my back. But, because I don't want to, and I just, when an article comes out or somebody says something, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. And I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to comment on it. I'm just going to keep my head down and focus on all of the things that I'm doing with the new music and the films and the books and the videos and the acting and the directing and all this stuff. My family, my farm, my faith, my family. And I'm just going to keep rolling forward. And I'm just going to... But it's something I'm constantly having to fucking deal with. A couple of days ago, the show in Europe on the Sticks and Stones tour, which is happening from February to March. I don't know if it's on there. I can't see it. But the show in Wales was canceled because of all this. And I read the statement to everybody. You can, it's on one of the Michael Graves shows. And that's it. We're trying to replace the show on that tour, but so that happened with the Whale show, and that club is awesome. We've played the Fuel Club. I've played the Fuel Club before, years ago, before the pandemic lockdown and everything that came after that. The Fuel Rock Club. I see the hoodie every day that I have here at the house. It's too small for me. My wife wears it. And I have a picture that the owners of Fuel Rock Club gave to me, because when Michael Graves and the American Monster Band played there, we were the fastest selling artist to sell the club out ever. And it says, congratulations on being the fastest selling out, artist to ever sell out the club in history so far. I don't know if we still have that, but I'm sure second or third after all these years. Not still first. I don't know. But they bowed to this bullshit pressure. Okay, fine. But the thing is that it's this made up thing. It's this like battle of identity. Why is this even news? Why would this even be news? It's not like, and it's about the Proud Boys. It's about January 6th. All the buzzwords are in it. Are in this news article. Far right, violent, white supremacist, Proud Boys. But I never talk about the Proud Boys. I never do anything with the Proud Boys. I stopped broadcasting on censored.tv. Gavin McInnes. It's not like I'm one of those guys. And what I mean by that is one of those guys like Gavin, who every day is out there saying things and expressing himself, right? Enrique as well. Enrique's out there and he expresses himself and he says things and he tweets things, his opinion, he makes speeches, he makes appearances. I just play my guitar and sing. and defend myself against all this stupid shit. I don't come on here and give long form. I suppose perhaps I used to, but if there's anything out there that, and I challenge everybody to, if there's some sort of something out there that I've said or that I've done specifically, okay, I testified on behalf of 5 Proud Boys in Washington, D.C. for January 6th. All right, because I knew the truth. I got it. It's not like I committed a crime. I went up I went up and I told the truth about what I knew and what I did or what I didn't do and what those guys didn't do. This is Salem witch trial stuff. Because, again, why even care? Like, why am I so... And it runs deep. And that's the thing. It's like this. It's not just, oh, there's some articles that have come out. I'm upset about the things that they're calling me. I don't give a shit about what I'm being called. It's not that. It's not like my feelings are hurt. It's that I'm being called these things and I'm labeled these things, and now I'm that guy in this space. This, punk rock, right? In the article, punk rock. I should just put the article up there. This is the article, okay? KRON 4. Let's put KRONQ. And in online, I can't even see it. An online backlash has erupted. So the headline is Bay Area appearance from punk singer associated with Proud Boys draws online backlash. Punk singer. I don't know if I'm a punk singer. I don't want to be a punk singer. I don't think I am. Maybe just a singer or a rock singer. See, it has to be punk singer because you have to fit me into that box. But that box doesn't want me anymore. So why even do it? Why even put me there? Come on. I'm not, like, if punk rock doesn't want me, and clearly they don't, that's fine. That's what Punk Rock is Dead is all about. Remember Punk Rock is Dead? I know, I'm going back. This is like 2006, I think. This was the whole, I wrote articles that punk rock hates me. I wrote an article called Punk Rock Hates Me about all of this 20 years ago. Bay Area appearance from punk singer associated with Proud Boys draws online backlash. This is written by some douchebag named Alex Baker. An online backlash has erupted. This seems so serious. A backlash has erupted. Like, think of a fucking volcano erupting. There's a backlash? Backlash has erupted over an upcoming appearance from a punk singer with a past association with the Proud Boys at a club in the North Bay. Michael Graves, the former frontman of iconic horror punk outfit The Misfits, is scheduled to play at Buddy's Music Office on January 31st. Graves, I love this. Like, this isn't journalistic integrity. It's just being a douchebag. Graves, whose real name is Michael Emanuel. That's right. My real name is Michael Emanuel. You dick. Rose to fame fronting the late 90s resurrection of the Misfits, stepping in for however well documented. All right. Co-founding frontman Clendad's Graves, however, has a well documented past association as a supporter of violent far-right extremist group, the Proud Boys. So, there's no example of me being associated with any violence. So you know, like I get it, I know, but we're not going to compare it to any sort of, you know, left wing violence, if you will, right? So there's you have the different you know, nuances of situations. Well, there's this in. You just tag it with violent, and there it is. A violent far right extremist group. What does that even mean? A far right. You know, those are the little tag. Those are the words that trigger. Those are the triggers. Bam, bam. Those are the prompts. Since his 5-year stint with the band came to an end, he's released several albums, solo artists, more headlines, but he's made more headlines for his political affiliations. I've written hundreds of songs. I've played thousands and thousands of shows all across the world. Good shows, making awesome music, and doing all sorts of other things. You know, I've been playing the West Memphis 3 stuff and these albums that I've made and all these things that I've done along the way. The documentary that I just made, the Blackness in the Forest documentary I made about the Almost Home campaign and the advocacy for justice in the criminal justice system, you know, fucking social justice. But I've made more headlines for my political affiliations, and a vocal supporter of President Donald Trump who has attended pro-Trump rallies, involved in the January 6th insurrection. Graves' far-right political affiliations, left several gigs, canceled cross country. His appearance in San Antonio in April of last year sparked an appearance in San Antonio in April of last year was greeted with protests even after being moved from the original venue after a backlash. This is
happening overnight, a concert at a local San Antonio bar sparking a protest by an anti-fascist group. Now, the show was held at Nowhere Bar off Austin Highway on the city's northeast side. Protesters and then counter-protesters traded verbal jabs from across the street.
Okay, those are the protesters. You see them? They were playing Glenn Danzig Misfit music across the street. Those
outside of the concert. Now, this is all revolving around who was headlining that concert. Michael Graves. He's a former
there they are. Look, pro-black
singer for the punk band Misfits. Graves has previously endorsed the Proud Boys, who the Anti-Defamation League.
Okay, now across the street, there's like all these guys are like. There's Mexican guys. There's not that many white people across the street either.
He calls a right-wing extremist group with a history of violence. Graves has been forced to cancel multiple shows due to the controversy. This show was moved from the Happy Place Bar to the Nowhere Bar yesterday.
Controversy. What is this? The controversy.
Due to all the backlash.
Controversy and backlash. There's consequences. These are your consequences. It's like the signal goes out. And, yeah, and that's what you get. Just total retardation. Seriously, why is this news? It's I'm a witch. I'm a witch in Salem. Every time I pop my head up. Like, I didn't even put this show up on my website. It's not even up on my website. I think it's up on Instagram or something like that. I didn't even post it. And the guy behind the show is a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good family guy. Beautiful family. He's a good guy. Good people come out. Last time I played for him before. Last time I played for him came out. It was awesome. And this is just, It's just ridiculousness. You know, and then the signal goes out here and it makes it like it's like a legitimate thing. But it runs deep. It's just not an article. It's just not people saying bad things about me. It's the destruction of my career. Does anybody believe at this point, after all of this, and it's a rhetorical question because I know the answer to it, does anybody actually believe that I'm going to get any sort of headway in any sort of like punk environment? You know, at a punk club or a punk record company, a punk record company, or a punk record, a magazine, or anybody or anything else that's punk, or any of these other places or spaces where you have this psychosis happening. No. And nobody's going to touch it, because if you do, then you're a witch too. And you're good for the gallows. You're good to be hung or drowned or have stones put on top of you till you can't breathe and you die. Because, well, you're guilty of being a witch. Now, I guess I'm going to do the example of this cancel kid idiocy. This moron. Because it's a good example. I think it's a good example of this. It's like the Kroning-Duggar effect, the Dunning-Kruger effect. But it's also in the larger picture of things, in the larger, what's happening. Have you seen in Ghostbusters 2? When there's all that pink slime underneath New York City. It's making everybody pissed off and crazy. And all the ghosts are coming. There's mass psychosis. It's crazy shit. I think the pink slime is back. I think there's pink slime. I think all the pink slime is back. Because everybody's lost their mind on an even higher level, on the macro. Mass conversion. Psychology of Totalitarianism explores how societies move from individual freedom to collective submission through a process often described as mass formation. It's group hypnosis. There's actually, I do a whole Radio Deadly show on censored.tv about this. So you should go to censored.tv, get yourself a sub. They go hard over there. Nobody's afraid to share their opinion over there. So if you have thin skin, maybe perhaps you shouldn't go. But there's some good shows over there. Gavin's show was excellent. But you can go over there and I do a whole show on mass formation. Unlike traditional dictatorships that rely purely on physical force, totalitarianism requires the active psychological participation of the masses. Modern scholarship, notably by Matthias Desmet. Go read his books. Many other brilliant minds on the subject. They didn't call it mass formation. In the psychology of totalitarianism, there's 4 identifying psychological conditions that allow a state to emerge. And you're going to see them, you see them everywhere. Right? Think social isolation, a pervasive sense of loneliness and a lack of meaningful social bonds. Social isolation everywhere. Meaninglessness, a widespread feeling that life and work, like bullshit jobs. I have a bullshit job. Lack of purpose. Meaninglessness, okay? Free-floating anxiety, high levels of anxiety, and unease that are not attached to a specific identifiable threat. I don't know what the fuck I'm mad at. I'm just that stress, that underlying, always in fight or flight, free-floating anxiety. Think COVID, for example, and all the things that came with it. What that does to you. Of being afraid of something you can't see. latent frustration and aggression, a buildup of anger that has no clear outlet, often resulting from the previous three conditions. And you just look out at what's happening in the world, and there are many examples of behavior and outcomes that are because of what I just described to you. In my opinion, I would call it mass idiocy. But for real, though, it's not like smart people can think their way out of it. It's literal hypnosis. You know, and you tell these people that things are red and they don't believe you, even if you're sitting there showing them the red apple. Like, this is red, look at it. But, no. Let's see, where is this here? So yeah, I don't understand why that sort of thing makes news. So I'm going to do this now. I was talking to somebody today, venting my frustrations and sort of just like talking this out. And, it reminded me of this video that this YouTuber guy that I used to know. I don't really remember what I did with him. But this like YouTuber guy, did this whole show about me about a year ago, and I had seen it. I watched it, and then just forgot about it. But I was reminded of it today, and I kind of scanned through it just a little bit. And, and I think that this is a good example of, you know what I was saying, the Dunning-Kruger effect. And so the Dunning-Kruger effect, there was this guy, I don't know when it was, in the 90s or something. I think it was in the 90s. I don't know. But this guy got the idea of putting lemon juice on his face and robbing a bank because he believed that putting lemon juice on his face would make his face invisible to the cameras. So some people, or a lot of people, you see it a lot online, podcasters, especially in the like the news and the opinion and the analysis world, which is just gigantic. There's like everybody has a podcast show. I know, I get it, me too. But at least I've been doing this a long time. Like the Radio Deadly Show has been here. This is old school. I know what tangy tangerine is. Okay, I have a PhD in it all. Really, I go back. I'm OG. I remember when talking about chemtrails, people were like, "Yeah, like, please." So this space is just mobbed with people that are just sort of waking up and just getting information. The YouTuber guy that we're gonna watch, he does this hour-long video about me. I think it's the perfect example. And a lot of the crazy people that you see online and with their opinions and stuff, it's Dunning-Kruger, and it's the illogical confidence in their own incompetence, because they think that they know something. You know, you get a little bit of information about something, and then you overestimate your competence in that subject, right? So these people that are just like sort of waking up, they get this information and it's mind blowing, you know, or they think that they know more than they actually do. A low ability in a given area, you know, a little bit of information, and then you become overconfident. You overestimate your competency in that area. You know, that's like talking shit. You know, you're talking shit because you don't know about something, and you just rattle off. You're bullshit. So hopefully, let me know. Hopefully everyone's going to be able to hear this.
Criminally unprepared for it, but we're just gonna do a little rubbernecking. That's how you have to look at this. This is nothing more than a good old rubberneck. It seems
feel prepared for
our boy, who is very proud of himself, is once again in deep water. I mean, it's really more of the same story here. It's not there's no brand new revelation. It's more of the same, but it's kind of interesting to come and check in and do an update every once in a while and just sort of watch watch it all unfold and whatnot.
So this dude is like a huge
little bit of an overview
Misfit fan. He's a huge Misfit fan. And on his show he does a lot of like Misfit
point for
stuff.
Michael Graves. So Mike
also
in 2020,
hold on, so also back when the whole BLM thing started, right, and there was the black box thing and the George Floyd, people were freaking out. This dude came on the Radio Deadly Show, or the Michael Graves show, and I think Loki and Arturo were on the show with me, but this kid came on and he was all like ill prepared, and I muted him at one point, and he's telling me about Black Lives Matter and calling me a fascist because I muted him because he didn't know what the hell he was talking about. And he's one of these people you can't talk to him because he just is just so dumb. Like, he's just not intelligent and he doesn't know what he's talking about. And as you'll see here.
Okay, no, let's back up a little bit.
Okay,
let's back up a little bit before that, actually.
He's going to back up.
So Michael Graves has had a lot of ups and downs in his solo career after the Misfits, right? He left the Misfits. He walked or got fired, whichever. I don't remember what Tank said. If you got to watch the Grim Tales, where he talks about
So this dude doesn't even know the story about how I get fired or how I leave, Chud,
and
he just has no idea what he's talking about.
Left, walked off the show or whatever. Doyle did too, but Doyle didn't stay. Walked off. He talks about it in painstaking detail in the last Grim Tale show that we did, right? And from there, Graves and Chud. By the way, listen, I've done several shows about Michael Graves in the past. Okay, we did a show on Chud in the past. I mean, if you've seen those shows, this is not like, you shouldn't even watch this. This is kind of like an update, but this is nothing really new. This is just a recap and then a sort of a looking back overview, whatever you want. Okay. So don't come at me with like, we know this already. Like I said, if you know this already, turn this off. This is perhaps for someone who doesn't know, kind of like an updated version of a similar sort of video. Okay. All right. So back to what I was saying. Graves and Chud, they leave the Misfits in 2000. They lock heads with Jerry over some stuff, and they end up quitting. And I'm sure Jerry would say he fired them, whatever it was.
Jerry didn't fire.
Chud and Graves had done some shows together as a one-off thing called The Lost Boys with Jason Trioxin on bass. They did 2 shows like that, and then they really set about doing a project called Graves. It's my understanding. Okay, again, please correct me. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong about any of this stuff. Okay.
Why didn't this dude just ask me to come on the show? Because I could have corrected him on all of this. And he has my email. I know he knows that he has my email. And again, this was a year ago. And he had my email then too.
Off the top of the dome. Graves was kind of apprehensive. He didn't want it to be called Graves. He wanted it to be something else. It ended up being Graves. Chud kind of was calling all the shots too. He was sort of like the band leader, which is kind of weird to me. I don't know why you would lend your name and face to a band and then let Chud drive that steering wheel. I mean, we see how Chud has navigated his own course. It's not been full of a lot of destinations. Let's put it that way. So they have a huge falling out. They have a huge falling out. Chris, how you doing? He says, "What's up, Jeff? I'm actually here tonight. I remember hanging with Graves after shows in the 90s." He says, "Hey, Jeff, missed you. Everybody go check out Bloods." I mean, whatever. We got to say hi to Mom. That's what tonight was. I saw of corruption. What people do not understand about saying Black Lives Matter, we're not talking to have all sorts of corruption. Look, lots of organizations are capable of corrupting. I've been wanting to do an updated sort of thing for a while because I have that clip of us debating on my channel, and people comment on it all the time. And they say such dumb shit on that. There's no point in responding to each individual person. A lot of people come at me for supporting Black Lives Matter, and I guess some of those Black Lives Matter organizations turned out to be to have all sorts of corruption. Look, lots of organizations are capable of corruption. What people do not understand about saying Black Lives Matter, we're not talking about organizations or the people and the personalities behind those organizations. We're talking about the concept of Black people as a people who deal with all sorts of bullshit, that their lives matter. It's a philosophy. It's a whatever you want to call it. It's a message of solidarity with people who put up with a lot of bullshit. That was the whole point of BLM, and that's what people are so they're so laser focused in the comments of that video talking about all this. I'm getting really sidetracked. They're talking about all this gobbledygook that is inconsequential.
Because you're totally wrong. See how he doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
I wonder how shortly after that all fell apart. Well, go watch.
He didn't even say anything. He didn't say anything, dude. All right, this sucks.
And they go out and they tour. They're doing a whole thing, and that's when Graves has his first big bump. Actually, I guess second, if you want to consider leaving the Misfits, the first big slouch, or if you really want to get technical, being replaced by Mike Hideous, right? He got replaced by Mike Hideous. That was his first dip. Then the second dip is leaving the Misfits, and then the third dip is he comes out as this conservative punk and just looks like a goof. He goes on the Daily Show, and they goof on him. You can see the clip. They goof on him.
So this dude is just rocketing through my my life and my career, just like rocketing through it. Really just making sure that he highlights, that there's bumps and low lights and, Black Lives Matter and here we go. And but he doesn't know anything. Like all the way through at this point, there's no integrity in what he's saying because he keeps saying that he doesn't know what he's talking about. So if you don't know what you're talking about and you need people to correct you in the comments about everything that you're saying, why are you going online and saying things? Why are you going online and saying things? This kid goes online and he just says things. Again, this is a year old, and a couple of thousand people, I think, have actually seen this. But but if you're one of those spacehead morons, one of those low IQ, vacuous morons, like, I guess this is entertainment for you because it's just words that don't really mean anything. He's not even saying anything.
And the band's there, and it's just, and whether he was in on the joke, whether he knew it was a joke or not, he made a fool out of himself.
So he's talking about the Daily Show. I was absolutely in on the joke, and it was supposed to be funny, and I was supposed to look like a moron. That's the whole point of the Daily Show. I mean, I don't think I look like a total moron, but you're supposed to laugh at it. It was a ha-ha moment. So again, just coming at me like like I'm just an idiot and I don't know what's happening, and I'm just all over the place steering, falling
national
from place
television.
to place.
And so he gets this thing, conservativepunk.org. He joined the army for a while. He gets out of the army.
Marine Corps. I didn't join the army. And yeah, I helped with conservative
solo records.
I started conservative punk.
One thing that's interesting that I've noticed from being on the periphery,
So already I've failed at more things than this kid has even tried at in his life.
A good, variety of the people in those circles, right? In
and
one
he
way or
loves
another,
the
whether it's because I
Misfits.
toured with them or
That's the thing. He loves the Misfits too. Like, what are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
To me. And again, I'm saying this from an outside perspective, and I don't actually know. But it seems to me
he doesn't know again.
Graves has this habit of surrounding himself with yes men, people that are always going to agree with whatever he says, as if he can't be wrong. I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly the crystallized sort of way to say it. I've watched some of these interviews with Graves where he talks about his victimhood. I mean, there's not an ounce of accountability for anything he says and does. It was always, and that's going to be a reoccurring theme that we're going to look at some of this stuff. It's always, it's somebody else's fault. It's all me. Everybody's after me. Blah, 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 blah. That's what I see. And again,
I don't think that everybody's after me.
All in all,
just
all in all,
douchebags like
Graves,
you.
He goes through these dips, these ups and downs, And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because eventually, he goes through lineup after lineup of his solo band. He walks away from, his core, though. There was like a core, he had a core sort of band in Loki and JV. I feel like those were his real, those guys were, his solid backing members of his band. And, they would come in the band and they would leave the band, and it was a lot of tumultuous whatever. And eventually, and people come and they go out of the Graves camp. I'm not going to sit here and do a precise chronological. It's just an overview, right? Just an overview.
It's just an overview that you have no idea what you're saying.
And eventually, at some point, he hooks up with this manager. And again,
okay, so all right, so right now he's just trying to infactually base this assumption that I can't keep a band together because I surround myself with yes men because I can't ever be wrong about things. Yeah, I can't ever be wrong about things, and he's seen interviews where that's the case.
Michael is like an easy mark, someone that they can manipulate, or maybe it's Michael seeing somebody being useful and uses them in some way, shape, or form. Whatever. Eventually, Michael resolidifies his band. He gets a solid, stable lineup. He gets Loki, Carlos, who's been on the channel a variety of times over the years. I like Loki. Loki's a great guy. So is Joe. Joe's a bud. JV, who's been on the channel. But Loki positions himself or gets into a position, having been with Graves on and off over the years and creatively writing with him and knowing how to tour and having common sense and this and the other. He basically becomes like the key, the perfect cog in the machine that allows them to suddenly go out and they just do these marathon tours. At some point, and there are these times where Graves, he gets, they lose their stuff, their gear gets robbed. And it creates stress fractures within the interpersonal dynamics of the band.
Stress
come and go,
again, interpersonnel
that
from the band because all our stuff got stolen.
The second time JV exited, JV was gone. He left after that. And after that, great, or maybe during that, again, I'm just sort of overlapping, mixing together a lot of different things.
Yeah, no shit. See, he's just overlapping and mixing together a lot of things. He's overlapping and mixing together a lot of things. So he's just making a fucking story up. He's just making up a story where I am the villain. I'm the villain. So far, JV has entered the story, and Loki, Carlos, Loki has joined into the story. But I'm the bad guy. And then he's his friends, and they're friends and buds. But
where they make for the perfect springboard that allows Graves to sort of ingratiate himself in these markets that he could never break into. It's my understanding, and I could be wrong, that they were supposed to do a tour in like 2004 or 5, bags packed, ready to go, and it was all canceled. And it was all because of the politics. Right. So anyway, to fast forward now, Graves is in this incredible place where he can tour. He can just tour. He's playing Europe for the first time as Michael Graves. He'd been to Europe before with the Misfits. I don't know if I know he did South American shows with Marky Ramone. I don't know if he ever did European shows with Marky Ramone. Could be wrong. I know he did a bunch of like exotic dates with Marky Ramone.
Exotic
By the way, this is your
dates.
first time here. Please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, and most importantly, in the
Shut up. Oh my God.
It's all covered in this documentary project called Kuyashi
Whole
Gonzo.
shitload of European dates with Marky, you dumbass.
Anyway, as I was saying, Graves, he's touring. He's in Europe. I think they go to Australia. I am just please scrutinize everything I'm saying because I could be wrong. But they play all over.
Why would you come online if you need people to scrutinize everything? You are wrong.
Going out for these incredibly
You've been
long
wrong
runs.
for almost 20 minutes.
And the inner workings of that machine are sort of the centerpiece of it is Loki, right? Loki, who just has a lot of business acumen as it relates to being in independent bands, but they have a booking agent and they're doing well, and they're doing well financially.
Hey, just to let you know there, and I'm not taking anything away from Loki. Loki absolutely is a motivated individual. He's professional. He knows what he's doing. He's good on the phone. He's a good negotiator. He knows what to ask for. He knows what not to ask for, and that is why he was doing what he was doing. Not necessarily because I couldn't do it, but I definitely didn't want to do it. But what Loki was doing was fantastic. But
FRUMESS. So if you want to get a sticker that says Michael,
just saying that. I was in a tour bus touring with a band called the Misfits when you were all in fucking high school, barely hitting puberty. I was already in a band doing this sort of thing. There's a lot that
you go to /Frumes, FRUMESS. Crush it. Guy is on top of the fucking world. He is in a position that I wish that I could have been in. I wish that I had You know, and again, it's kind of amazing too how it's like talk about being sort of gift wrapped, like the perfect springboard to be.
This is it. This is what's wrong with this guy. He so badly wants to be me that he doesn't even know what to do with himself. And this is his tell, everybody. Here we go. This is the Jeff Frumes
to create a brand, like an independent brand, touring, creative, all this from my periphery, because I know some of the guys in Michael Graves' band, right? I know Loki, I know Joe, I know these guys. Too. I know Howie. Howie was in the band.
Yeah.
Howie from Nimvind.
Yeah.
I know Nimvind. Nimvind toured with Michael, right? So I mean, Michael Graves, he's crushing it. The guy is fucking on top of the fucking world.
Going faster, so it's really
in a position
funny.
that I wish that I could have been in. I wish that I had, you know, and again, it's kind of amazing too how it's like
he wishes that he had any sort of talent that would take him to the level that I've been at, and he wishes that he had the talent and you know, and the wherewithal to go through and have a life that I have and that I've led. That's his problem. That's why he doesn't like me, I think. Why don't you like me, Jeff Frumes?
Talk about being sort of gift wrapped, like the perfect springboard to be a to create a brand, like an independent brand, touring, creative, art selling machine.
Yeah.
You know, with you know, Misfits cred, I guess. Yeah. You know, at least, you know, for the people that love that version of the Misfits, right? You know, it's like you could not be given a better boost, right? Such a good head start, or whatever you want to call it. And
we can call it a head start.
Something happened, right? Something happened. So on the side, Michael Graves likes doing radio, and he had a show called Radio Deadly. He had a bunch of shows. He had a bunch of shows. I think he did radio in college or something. He just had always an affinity for doing radio.
Yeah, Radio Deadly. Radio Deadly. He knows about it. This was a year ago. See, I told you. I told you this show was a thing.
I mean, listen, I'm not one to talk. There's a lot of people that really hate what I do here. There are people that absolutely cannot stand the tone of my voice. They don't like to hear me go
yeah, and you don't know anything that you're talking about, dummy. But it's actually funny, like faster.
And this around the spring of 2020, we're all sequestered because of the country being shut down.
This is Ben Shapiro speed.
George Floyd happens, and Michael Graves just basically he lashes out against all that stuff. I'm not going to go into all the politics.
I did not.
We covered it in the past.
Okay, here we go. So I did not lash out. I did not lash out. He's just so I don't know what homeboy's talking about. I didn't lash out. You fag. That's right. You're a fag. I did not lash out. Stop being gay.
We're 5 years removed. I'm not going in there. I'm not going there right now.
But you just did. You just lied.
It's just to clarify what happened.
You didn't clarify anything. You lied.
Hold on. I'm lost. Now I'm trying to remember what the chronology of that all was. I mean, I could watch. I should have watched.
You don't know what you're doing.
What happened? He made some blunders. He said some really asinine things. Really foolish, stupid things. And
like what?
People were giving him shit for it. And then
that's not what happened.
He did something. I will say that. So I came on his show. He had like a call-in show one day. And it's so funny too, because the people in the comments of this video, they always like to be like, you never let him speak. You never let him speak. And it's like, first of all, like I called onto his show. He wasn't on my show. I was on his show.
That's right.
He's like, I want to talk to anybody who is critical of me or like doesn't agree with me or like whatever. I want to hear what people have to say. He had made a comment about how white Christians are being basically on their way to being put into ghettos, digital ghettos, and just whatever. He's comparing himself to victimizing himself as if he was a Jew during World War II and the Holocaust, and that rubbed me the wrong way. And so I got on the you can watch the video, and you know I was
you can watch the video absolutely, and I did not compare myself to a Jew in the Holocaust. That's definitely not what happened there.
People like to call out
Jeff,
and what ended up happening was Michael Graves, he's like, yeah, I don't believe in gay marriage, whatever, like all this stuff. And he mutes my microphone because, you know, some people say that I wouldn't let him talk, whatever. It's bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. He got himself into a corner that he couldn't get out. And then he muted me. The guy who champions free speech muted me.
That's not true. I didn't mute him. I mean, I did mute him, but
Michael Graves fascist because fascists like censor people. That's what fascism is.
But it wasn't that I got into a corner. It was that this kid is a moron and he doesn't know what he's talking about. I didn't say anything about. I mean, if somebody wants to come on here and ask me about gay marriage, I'll have that conversation. I don't know if we had that conversation. I don't actually remember what we talked about, but I just remember he was annoying in a way and just stupid.
Incredible and touring, you know, bands like
he'd come on the Radio Deadly Show
because they don't align with
those
politics. And
well, he's gonna get muted at some point.
Booking agents, markets shut down. All of it shuts down. No more touring Europe. No more this. No more that. And then, you know, and basically band.org, whatever, to that place, right? A lot of
So
them.
here
There's a
we
lot of them.
go.
But what's the big difference? Like there's some glaring differences there. You tell me. What do you think the differences are? Please. What are the differences? I'm not saying that.
Hold on, we're gonna go back
and
because he's asking a question I could probably answer. So this dude's going on 31 minutes now.
We're going to talk about the most important thing of all. Why? Why is he being boycotted? Like, why have all these boycotts? Why are like what was the final straw? Because we're missing a ginormous piece to get us up to like where things are at currently.
Yeah,
he did something. He did something. He aligned himself in a way where he crossed a line that he has not been able to come back from, and that is his big problem now. That is something that is still biting him in the ass years and years down the line. And I have to imagine that this decision has cost him to make. He made an Instagram post, and this Instagram post has probably cost him hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. I'm not kidding when I say that. I really believe that. I really think that Graves, and again, like, does that mean that like does that mean that money comes before principles? No. But when you're an independent touring musician who is supporting his family,
it is definitely costed me.
Family with the
I wouldn't disagree with that.
And supporting other people in your organization. Like maybe you just got to be more careful about the things that you say, and we know that there are others. Look, I see people in the comments.
See that snide bullshit. So he just talked about how the decision to, and I think he's gonna show the okay sign thing. So this douchebag, just goes on and builds this whole case about me and talk about victimhood and how this one post that I put up probably cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, although all of those things, I should be more careful about the things that I say, because people like him or all of these other people that rally and organize to boycott me are angry, and so they look to cause me to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars in opportunities.
I'm a victim. That sort of thing, right? Period. Whatever. I'm not gonna sit here and talk. Is your Frank Booth done?
So they organize to destroy opportunity and things that might cause me to be able to make a living. But it's justified. See, they justify it's justified because of, for example, the case that this fucking loser has gone on now for almost 40 minutes. But also, and admittedly so, says he doesn't know what he's talking about and that he doesn't have the facts, and that if need be, he needs to be corrected in the comments.
In the live chat or down the comments. Click the link or go to the homepage of my channel. It's the home host video, the first video. Kuyashi Gonzo, Blood Visions, I Cast Magic. Please watch my documentary when you're done here. Okay, so what happens? So I should have been like, hey, ChatGPT, write me up a crime. I don't even know what ChatGPT can do. I should have had bullet points, because I feel like everything I've set up to this point has been really sloppy, messy, tangled, and confused. I've left out a lot of
yes, absolutely. Why didn't you just have me on the show? Why? How dare you? How dare you? And that's the for someone that was just talking about BLM and how it's like a humanity thing, this fucking kid comes on here and totally dehumanizes me and says all of these things about me and builds these cases so that there's people come to the conclusion that I'm this horrible fucking monster, and maybe I should be careful more about the things that I say so that my life isn't ruined and I don't lose hundreds of thousands of dollars and all my business relationships and everything else that I've lost. Apparently here,
this is what everybody seems to forget. Because I see this all the time.
There it is. And I've explained this 10 ways till Sunday.
What's the deal? Blah, blah, blah. Here's the deal. Here's the honest deal. And I say this from my perspective as well as a Jew.
As a Jew, okay.
He writes on his Instagram at the time. He goes, I am a proud Western chauvinist. And by the way, there's not...
Okay, here we go. Jeff Frumesi, this is his perspective as a Jew. What? As a Jew? Okay, here we go. So that's going to make it different. That makes his perspective different because he's a Jew.
Like anybody was coming at Graves being like, hey, man, I hear you're like not very proud of the West. I hear you're like nobody's challenging him. In fact, he's got turmoil in his own house, if you know what I mean, like with his organization and in disarray. And he goes and he does this instead of like trying to like fix everything. So
Jeff Frumesi has no idea what I was doing at that point in my life. You don't think I was trying to fix things? Once again, this, and I've gone on the record more than once, and I have explained this whole thing and that picture. And by the way, if you're going to get upset at that as a Jew, that makes you upset about something, which I guess we're going to find out about. Again, I didn't watch this, so I'm reacting to this in live time. It's about a year old that gay boy did this. Somebody brought it to my attention and reminded me of it today, and they were like, "Why don't you go on the Radio Deadly Show? Because I've been wanting to bring the Radio Deadly Show back. Why don't you go on the Radio Deadly Show and play that and just react to it?" And I was like, I said, "No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. No." But, ball's got to roll downhill, got to get some momentum, get things back going. So on top of being worked up about the article that came out from San Francisco, about my show in Novato, California, and how there's this eruption of this online eruption. I'm going to show it to you. This is what I'm talking about. So the KRON San Francisco article that came out about the backlash that has erupted over an upcoming appearance from punk singer with the past association with the Proud Boys. Like, why is this news? Why is this news? I'm such a big deal. Like, I've said something, I've done something so horrible, so just heinous. It's so bad that I can't go to Novato, California and play an acoustic show with a couple of other bands, a couple of other acts for some people that like to listen to music and like my songs. And just, they have to, like, this has to happen. And in a couple of days, next week, there's going to be a BBC article that comes out about the shows of mine that are canceled in the UK. And that's not going to do anything at all. The focus is this. Anytime I pop my head up and do something, it all goes to this. It all goes to this, and I'm just supposed to ignore it. I'm just supposed to ignore it because I've done this, and it's just not scrutiny. It's not just people calling me names and, well, I don't like something that you said or something that you did. It's this organized, focused campaign that's scattered across America and into it, and it burrows into business as this moron that we're watching on the talk about me for almost 40 minutes here that doesn't know what the hell he's talking about at all whatsoever, freaking out. Again, this is a year old, freaking out about me doing the okay sign and all of these bad things. So he's concluding, he's gone through almost 40 minutes of talking about my life and my career without any facts or knowledge. Admittedly so, painting me out to be this terrible person that surrounds himself with yes people because I always need to be right. And all of these terrible business decisions that I've made and all these horrible life decisions that I've made. And
makes this post. And you could say, man, he's just speaking his beliefs. A lot of people are like, hey, man, we're all allowed to have our own beliefs. Like, totally. Graves is totally allowed to believe this stuff and have his own beliefs. What Graves is upset by is that he somehow thinks that he can say what he wants to say and not
There it is. I say what I want to say.
Suffer the consequences of people not wanting to associate with that.
There it is. Okay. I don't know what I've said, but again, now this is happening amongst all sorts of other things. There's no context to what Jeffy is putting out right now.
It's like Graves decided to roll around in a bunch of cat turds and hobo piss, and then walk into a party, and when everybody wants to not be near him because he smells like cat turds and hobo piss, he goes, "Why doesn't anybody want to stand next to me? Why? What did I do?" You know, it's like, what the fuck? It's like, what the fuck, man? So
I know exactly what's
Michael
happening.
Graves,
I know exactly what's happening.
I will say this. As to him going like this in that photo, was he specifically trying to do the alt-right dog whistle, white power dog whistle thing? Like, is that what he was trying to do in the specific photo?
See, there it is again. That's not a thing. That's not even real. What he's saying. However, and it was made up to trigger dumb shits like this guy.
That's the part that like why are you highlighting the fact that you weren't doing it on purpose? You took the symbol and you plugged it in because it's a double fucking entendre, man. Like, that's what you were doing. Now, what is this? If you look here, look at my three fingers, right? Right here, that is a W. And then this right here is supposed to be a P, or maybe I'm
I didn't even know
WP, white power. Now, initially, it started off as like a thing to kind of troll like liberals and whatnot. It was like a way of trolling liberals into thinking that people were standing up for white power, whatever, when they weren't really. And then it actually was adopted and co-opted, and literally is a symbol of that thing of white power, whatever you want to call it. And so
we co-opted to trigger dumb shits like this guy.
Caps lock letters, as you can see, here it is. You can see it right here. Can I zoom in on this?
Look at my dog in the background. It's Kiara, everybody. Kiara. There's Kiara. Hey, puppy.
There we go. All right, you guys can see that. I am a proud Western chauvinist, and I refuse to apologize for building the modern world.
That's true.
Now, let's take that one chunk at a time. What does that actually mean?
We're going to take it one step at a time. We're going to lose the Instagram audience soon, because I might have already lost them, but Instagram cuts off at about an hour.
It's just a joke, man. It's just a joke, man. Like, whatever. It's just a joke. This is just all of it's just a joke.
I never said anything about.
What do we do on this channel all the time? We analyze lyrics. We've been doing that a lot recently, and you guys have been on board with the analyzation of lyrics. Let's analyze what this message really means. Let's take a look at it. So let's look at it.
Okay.
Is this a photo? Yeah, it's a photo. Shit, I can't actually highlight it. Mike Blair says, let's take it step by step. I am a proud Western chauvinist. What is a Western chauvinist? What is Western supposed to represent? We got to do a little hopscotch here. I'm a proud, meaning that I'm proud. I have pride.
Right. Western society. Western society is a pretty good thing.
That I am proud of my Western chauvinism. What is chauvinism? What does chauvinism actually mean? Let's look up the definition. You can't see it. Let me see. Chauvinist. Here we go. What is a chauvinist? Damn it. Can't see. There you go. A little bit better. Chauvinist. A person displaying excessive or prejudiced support for their own cause or group. In particular, a man prejudiced against a woman. Displaying excessive or prejudiced support for one's own cause or group, in particular showing male prejudice against a woman. Right? So chauvinist is basically another way of saying superiority. Right? Is that actually believing that or behaving as if women are naturally less important, intelligent, or able than men? But we're not talking about women in this context. We're talking about the West or Western. Let's look up Western civilization.
Oh.
Western civilization.
Okay, so hold on. So chauvinist is like
is a term.
Not talking about
shared cultural beliefs and history of societies influenced by Europe.
Ooh.
Began in ancient Greece and has spread to many parts of the world, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it says democracy is a core value of Western civilization, individualism, rationalism.
Right.
But the thing that, look, Western civilization began in ancient Greece and evolved through the Roman Empire, the Middle Ages, and the Renaissance, the Reformation, the Enlightenment, and the Industrial Revolution. The Christianized Germanic peoples, such as the Franks and the Goths and the Burgundians, made significant cultural contributions. Western civilization has spread to become the dominant culture of much of North and South America and Oceania. So the idea of Western civilization is white European civilization. I am proud. So now let's go back. Let's go back now. I am a proud Western.
Homeboy just said that. No, I didn't. Nobody said anything about white.
Now here's the second part.
Nobody said anything about white.
I refuse to apologize for building the modern world. What the hell does that mean?
See the little trick that homeboy just did? Wait a second. Let's go back. Let's just go back for a second.
Civilization is a term for the shared cultural beliefs and history of societies influenced by Europe. It began in ancient Greece and has spread to many parts of the world.
You know what? This guy is now developing the case that I'm a racist. Do you believe that?
Look, Western civilization began in ancient Greece and evolved
now
through the
this
Roman
wouldn't
Empire,
be so. This wouldn't be so serious if, you know, when I go out in America, ladies and gentlemen, I carry a gun because dick bags like this that are on doing stuff like this, that would think about going online, streaming such a thing, and then developing a case against me that I am a racist, and he's giving you the proof that I'm a racist. Well, he thinks that he's giving you the proof, but to dumb people, this is making sense. Okay, so here we go.
The Reformation, the Enlightenment, and the Industrial Revolution. The
He's
Christianized Germanic
Western
peoples,
civilization.
such as the Franks and the Goths.
He looked up in the dictionary
made
here.
Cultural contributions.
Western civilization
has spread to become the dominant culture of much of North and South America and Oceania. So the idea of Western civilization is white European civilization. I am proud.
That's what he's saying.
Let's go back now. I am a proud.
I didn't say that. It has nothing to do with white people or black
superiority, right? That's the first part. Now here's the second part. Okay. And I refuse to apologize for building the modern world.
Because as well as in that, for the people that might be interested, he talks about Western democracy, and in that history is a war that was fought in this country against slavery. There are black people in my family. There's people from the Dominican Republic in my family. There's people from not white countries. I don't need to defend myself and say that I'm not a racist. That's the stupidest thing ever. I am clearly, demonstrably not a racist. If this kid had anything to take, and I think that this is defamation. Isn't this defamation? I'm not a lawyer. It's not that like I'm gonna do anything. It's not like that. I'm not gonna litigate this fucking fag. It's just retarded. But seriously, right now in this little segment here, about 40 something minutes in to this whole spiel, now he's creating a case that I'm a racist. I said nothing about white anything. I said Western civilization, and all that comes with it, including the freedom to go online like this and totally make up things about me and talk about things that you have no idea about. And admittedly so, you say it more than once in this video that you have no idea what you're talking about. So why would you go on there in such a haphazard fashion and create this fake narrative that you've created, and now presenting evidence that I am a racist? What does that do?
What the hell does that mean? I refuse to apologize for the modern world. What do we think of as the modern world? What do people in Western civilization think of as the modern world?
America.
Think about, say, America, right? This idea that Western chauvinists built America. And why would you have to apologize for building America? Why? Because this civilization was built on the backs of the slaves.
And Central
Africans
America,
brought here and enslaved. The Chinese, the Irish,
Europe.
All these peoples who came here and either toiled for very little pay or were enslaved and built this country into an economic super powerhouse that it has blossomed into over the years.
So wait a second. Oh, I missed that. I think that was his leftist thing. Wait, hold on a second. What did he just say?
Of the slaves.
Oh, slaves.
Africans brought here, North and South America and Oceania. So the idea of Western civilization is white European civilization. I am proud.
Asshole.
So now let's go back.
You're
let's go back
asshole.
now. I am a proud Western chauvinist.
You're an asshole.
My Western superiority, European superiority, right? That's the first part. Now here's the second part. Okay.
Second part.
I refuse to apologize for building the modern world. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? I refuse to apologize for building the modern world. What do we think of as the modern world? What do people in Western civilization think of as the modern world?
Black Lives Matter.
Think about, say, America.
No justice.
Right? This idea that Western chauvinists built America. And why would you have to apologize for building America? Why? Because this civilization was built on the backs of the slaves, of Africans brought here and enslaved. The Chinese, the Irish, all these peoples who came here and either toiled for very little pay or were enslaved and built this country into an economic super powerhouse that it has blossomed into over the years.
Okay.
I refuse to apologize. I refuse to not feel guilty. I refuse to not feel guilty about slavery. Now, look, I'm not saying it's not, that's such a weird way to sort of contextualize this, right? Like it's such a weird thing to say. I refuse to feel guilty about slavery. I don't think everybody walking around today, like has this mentality of like, you know,
Okay,
like,
never
oh my God,
did
I feel so
I
guilty about slavery. But at the same time,
I
we
don't
recognize
feel
and
guilty.
we understand
I don't
that this
feel
country
guilty about
was
slavery,
built
but
on top of
what?
enslaved labor. And if you go to the Museum of African American History in Washington, D.C., it is one of the best freaking museums in the world. Built America. And why would you have to apologize?
Just because so do we, are you seeing what's happening here? Again, if you just joined us, www.frumies.com is not like a popular thing. It's not like a big thing that like this is influencing a lot of people. It's just the example that we're doing here. It's the exercise in the example. Now, this whole thing that you're seeing here in this presentation there, or this is something that's out there a lot. Like there's a lot of people that think like this about other things and other people. You can insert this ideology and this vacuous idiocy, this moronic, there's plenty of examples of this. And so now he's talking about here, sorry, I got sidetracked here. He's talking about now,
Apologize for building America. Why?
that somehow slavery, I'm not apologizing, or I refuse to apologize for slavery is where we're at. So I somehow, because America was built on the backs of slaves, and he not only said black people, but Irish and Italian and I don't know what else he said, all the other people that I guess were slaves. But I refuse somehow to recognize that. I don't know. So again, he's building a case for me to be that I'm a racist, this scumbag, little nothing. This is crazy. But again, like there, so think about this and then think about all of the other TikToker, YouTuber, podcaster, protesters, like Dr. Chud's like this as well. He just doesn't go online and because he's not smart enough to go online and just rant about the dumb things that are in his head. This moron thinks that it's okay to just go online and rant about stupid stuff that is in his head. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's an overconfidence in your ability, your overconfidence in, like, you think that you know shit, but you don't know anything. But it's crazy because for almost 40 minutes, every 5 minutes, this kid stops and he's like, well, I'm not sure. I'm just kind of floating through all this. I mean, I'm just putting pieces together. I don't even know if they're right. I don't even know if it's the truth or not. I don't even know. I don't know. So tell me in the comments, all the things I'm wrong about, because I'm just making this up as I go along. Now Michael Graves is a racist, and this
was built
is
on
why.
the backs of the slaves, of Africans brought here and enslaved.
This is his history of America.
Chinese, the Irish.
Oh, the Chinese.
All these peoples
I forgot the Chinese.
Who came here
the
and either toiled for very little pay or were enslaved and built this country into an economic super powerhouse that it has blossomed into over the years.
Yeah, and nobody
I refuse to apologize. I refuse to not feel guilty. I refuse to not feel guilty about.
I don't feel guilty. That's crazy. Like, why should I feel guilty about that? I don't feel guilty. If you just said like the Irish slaves and the Italian slaves, like my ancestors were Italian and Irish. And Irish were not treated good when they came here at all. Okay, my mother grew up in a one-room tenement in the Bronx. Her last name is Monahan. My my great-grandparents came from Ireland. You fucking moron. And they were poor as shit.
Slavery. Now, look, I'm not saying it's not that's such a weird way to sort of contextualize this, right?
I don't feel
such
guilty
a weird
about
thing to say.
slavery.
I refuse to feel guilty about slavery.
About it.
I don't think everybody walking around today has this mentality of like, oh my God, I feel so guilty about slavery.
Right.
But at the same time,
right,
we recognize and we understand that this country was built on top of enslaved labor.
Okay.
And if you go to the Museum of African American History
labor
in Washington, D.C.
This country was built upon enslaved labor. That's a quote from this
You
dude.
enter the room of July 4th, 1776, and you realize that when they say all men are created equal, when they say all men deserve to be free, they're not talking about black people. They're talking about white people. That shit is insane, dude. That shit is insane. And so this idea is I refuse to apologize for building the modern world. And A, we're going to take credit for building it when it was really the peoples we enslaved who built it. And B, we're not going to feel guilty that this country was built by enslaved peoples. It is
See, he doesn't agree with
this
me. All
country's
right,
history
that's fine.
is slavery.
That
One
you
of them,
can
right? I guess
you can
there's
disagree
a
with
smattering
me,
of them.
but do you see the
This is
conclusion
something
that this
that
kid is
is, when you
coming
go to the
to
museum,
is that I'm a racist?
What happened to enslaved peoples in this country? I mean, it's just insane, the dehumanization that occurred. And it's the type of thing that should always be, it has to be remembered.
And
it has to be
yes,
remembered.
it does. It has to be right. Yes, yeah, right. And people like me need to be punished when you misunderstand or don't agree with me.
Remember, Lincoln freeing the slaves.
There has to be consequences for the things that I say and the things that I think.
And
there has
this
to be
movement
consequences.
is about identifying as proud Western chauvinists who refuse. And the thing that's insidious about the Proud Boys, that really, really, really is insidious about like the whole friggin' thing, is that like, oh, well, we have black members, we have Asian members. We're not just, it's not just, we have Jewish members. It's not just, white people who are part of the Proud Boys organization.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets convoluted. This is a way of rebranding a very old idea of supremacy. Oh, so, marginalized minority people are going to champion our cause. Not only are they going to be our shields, they are going to be our shields against, for people
Nobody
who want to think
they're
critically.
better than
well, how could they be
anybody
racist if
else?
they have black members?
I mean, I think Western civilization is pretty awesome.
Are in service
I don't
to what you were standing up for, Western chauvinism.
I've been to
It's just another way of saying,
I don't,
white supremacy. That's what it is. And so Graves, now to pull back from what the Proud Boys insidiously are.
Okay.
Underneath it all, right? And their founder, Gavin McGinnis, and look, people say, oh, he's just joking,
Gavin, they're talking about you.
I mean,
Gavin,
the guy's been flirting with this shit, and
he's talking about you.
Stuff, man. It's all about that stuff. It's all fucking there. You just got to read between the lines and look at it.
Wait, what?
He says, look, this guy Eli saying, dude who ran the
wait, go back just a second.
It's all fucking there. You just got to read between the lines and look at it.
Oh,
that's what it is. And so Graves, now to pull back from what the Proud Boys insidiously are. Underneath it all, right? And their founder, Gavin McGinnis, and look, people say, oh, he's just joking, I mean, the guy has screwdriver tattoos, man. I mean, the guy's been flirting with the shit, and he espouses all that stuff, man.
Okay.
It's all about that stuff. It's all fucking there. You just got to read between the lines and look at it. He says, look, this guy Eli saying, dude who ran the Proud Boys was Cuban. That was wonderful for them. That was such a wonderful thing. Like, how can we be racist if we have somebody who's Cuban in our organization? But if that Cuban person is espousing Western chauvinism, this new form, it's a new form of white supremacy. And I'm white, I benefit from that. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about someone in the organization who's like, why would I want to have, POC members, and that's the point.
That's a house divided against itself. Right, that's the house divided. Why? That's the house divided against itself. That's Jesus being a demon himself and exercising demons out of people. A house can't be divided against itself.
This is what tokenization is all about.
Right. So now, if Enrique or any of the other, black or whatever, why would they support an organization that's supporting white supremacists? At such a level that they're trying to usher in this white supremacy to where they are then essentially get crushed. That's ridiculous.
Radioactive in a way that he has never recovered from. Truly. And now, he goes around doing these acoustic tours. And I'm sure he's always done acoustic tours. And acoustic tours are good for Graves and for anybody who has the ability to do them because it's low overhead. You don't have to worry about covering your whole band or paying out your band or traveling with your band.
Okay, now he's talking about economics.
It's a lot easier.
Good. Yeah,
it's a lot easier.
Right.
Just go out and hit a bunch of markets. You can alternate. You can do. I mean, it's not a bad system, but Graves kind of leaned into that. He leans into that as if he's doing it on purpose. When the reality is he can't keep the lineup together. He can't keep an electric lineup together for very long, or function the way that it used to function when you had Loki and JV or Howie or whoever, and was just crushing it in all those markets.
Yeah.
So now let's go to what is Michael Graves saying now?
Markets if douchebags like you wouldn't say stupid stuff like this and organize and create an environment where I can't go out on the road and do those things. It's not about keeping a band together, you dumbass.
Excuse me.
It's not about
canceled show
that
finds former Misfits frontman Michael Graves lashing out about being purged from Pittsburgh. I mean, it's all over the news. He's canceled because of attacks. Michael Graves, Misfits, was set to open his acoustic.
This guy just is rolling off of calling me and supporting it with what he thinks is evidence that I'm some sort of white supremacist, racist.
Of what happens Michael Graves books something somewhere. Hey, he just played the Whiskey a Go Go, so maybe it's not all bad. I mean, still playing the Whiskey a Go Go.
That's right, you fucking loser.
Other concert venues in the country are canceling Michael Graves' acoustic tour. We cannot speak for other venues, but when
I actually played Alice Cooper's, he's got a school in Phoenix, Arizona. I went out and visited the kids and talked to the kids and played with some of the young men and women that were there. It was so cool. They got to ask me questions and stuff. Yeah, it was awesome. And not everybody was white, actually.
They were like going to try and do it on the low, maybe. And then...
Yeah, not everybody was white. I wonder what Jeff Frumesi is doing for the world. You know, he's talking about all this injustices in the world. I wonder what this kid has ever done, you know, to contribute to all of this social injustice that's got him all worked up.
We will be more careful about who we book at Afterlife moving forward. We built this place to be a playground for musicians, music lovers, gamers, and anyone who loves food and drinks. We want to continue improving Afterlife for all. Like, qualifies him as being like a card-carrying fascist. Like, I don't know how to qualify that. I will say this, though. The dogma that is espoused by the Proud Boys, this idea of Western chauvinism, is incredibly dangerous. It's a very, very dangerous idea of being a Western chauvinist and refusing to apologize for the modern world.
Very
and
dangerous.
In this way,
look at my dog.
Maybe Mike
my dog is dangerous too. Look how dangerous she is.
Gets himself into such hot water, you know. But it's, you know, it's a stain that's never going to leave him. You know, I mean, it's kind of stuck. He's kind of stuck with it. And what's interesting is to watch him, like to watch him double down. He doubles down on this stuff.
Ooh.
You know, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just so strange to me. It's just so strange. Like, why double down on it? So here's what Michael Graves is actually saying.
Well, this dude knows
Twitter.
so much.
I've lost my ex.
But yet he doesn't know a lot.
By the way, if anybody wants to come and converse with me on Threads, I'm on Threads. I like Threads a lot.
I don't even know what Threads is, bro. Yeah. So again, now this is the perfect example. Now this isn't, you know, Jeff from us, www.frumus.com, misfit extraordinaire, knows everything guy, loves the misfits, definitely doesn't like me. This is the perfect example of the retard sloshhead morons that are out there in your world, ladies and gentlemen. And when you see anything about me or anything else about cancel, or again, you see these protesters out on the streets, these morons that are on TikTok make these YouTubes that are so profoundly disturbed about the America that we're living in and how it's being taken over by Nazis and white supremacists being hired into ICE, and all of this insanity, this Salem, Massachusetts insanity. This is the perfect example. This douchebag right here. This is what they think. This is how they speak. This is what they know, which is nothing. They just know like a little bit of something, and then they just roll forward with it. America was built on the backs of slavery, and because someone like me, because we don't feel guilty about it, how can we understand? And how dare we? And if we say that or we think that these things, then we need to be crushed, and there needs to be these punishments that are put upon us. Our lives, our careers need to be crushed. This guy's whole shtick is the misfits. His whole shtick is the misfits. So I've created something that has become this guy's whole fucking world. I mean, I think he's got a hard on for Glenn Danzig too, but
we're doing anything different than I would ever do, because Michael
Graves,
pretty
funny too, guy. We got it on speed. We have this on Ben Shapiro speed.
Live on the internet. He told me personally when I was debating him. He said, "I do not believe in gay marriage." It's kind of interesting how he's saying here, like he's like, "This is how good of a guy I am. I knew that the venue fostered and leaned towards gay marginalized community, and never once thought about."
I didn't.
Like, I mean, think about like man.
Okay, you know what? I don't know how many people are, but let me go over this again with the whole gay marriage thing. Like, if you're a man and a man, or a woman and a woman, and you want to, get married, of course you should be able to have that sort of union. I've always said that it's in the semantics, right? If you say like get married, then the right, like the Catholics, especially the Christian Catholics, they freak out because they don't believe that gay people can get married in the way that Christians, that Catholics get married. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. They don't believe in it. I believe that in marriage there's a spiritual bond, and that's a man and a woman, and how the man and the woman are connected to God. And there's a spiritual, there's a bond that happens. There's three people in that marriage. There's some gay people that believe that, and I think that I don't think that gay people getting married is dissimilar than to my marriage. I'm not going to say that it's any less. I'm not going to say that's any less. Scripture says that it's not a thing. But I really believe that a man and a man, or a woman, two adults, consenting adults that love each other, should be able to have the same benefits and guarantees that my wife and I have. If you want to have a spiritual debate about it, we can have a spiritual debate and base it on scripture. But that doesn't mean that's not hate in my heart. I don't hate people at all. Well, I mean, I don't hate gay people, and I know gay people that are married, and I think that that's awesome. I'm very, very happy for them. So suck my ass, Jeff Roomies.
So then, who are the ones being non-inclusive and hateful? It is SideQuest and people like Prison J Badlin creating a dangerous and non-inclusive space for me. Calling me a Nazi creates an environment that is dangerous for me. It's also slanderous and proverbially untrue. My values and my hope for a better world are irreproachable.
This faggot doesn't have to walk around with a gun. Hey, faggot, you don't have to walk around with a gun. Nobody's saying that you're a racist. Nobody's saying that you're a Nazi. Nobody's saying that you're a white supremacist. Nobody's saying that there's hate in your heart. And nobody's saying that there needs to be justice. There needs to be consequences for the things that they believe or say, or the things that I believe and that I say. That consequences are justified. You piece of shit.
But that's what's so bizarre about the whole thing, I mean, whatever, Mike. Good job, I guess. I don't know, man.
All right, so I think that you get it. I think we get it. Do you get it? I think that you get it. All right, so yeah. So just looking over some of your comments here. I appreciate everybody coming along for the ride and doing that with me. I appreciate you all very, very much. I'm going to hop off here. Don't forget tomorrow. Look, there's nothing wrong. I'm seeing this here. There's nothing wrong with being a Christian. I'm a Christian. Jesus Christ is my Savior, my Lord and Savior. 100%. That wasn't the discussion, but there it is. I mean, that is the example of the mindset of the lunatic, moronic, idiotic, bumbleheaded, low IQ, piece of shit loser. I'm sorry. It's the truth. What are you contributing to the world? Why would you do that? Why would you do that when you have access to me? Hey man, let's hop on a stream and go beat by beat here and get to the bottom of it. So, and then yes, and I have to deal with these things like major news outlets saying things that I'm associated with violent groups and fascistic groups. And all of this other stuff that paints the picture, that paints me into this corner and makes me out to be something that I am not. There's no wiggle room in that article. Do you know? You know what I'm saying? In order to understand the entire situation, and so that's where we're at, and so that's where we're at. So this is the Radio Deadly Show. Again, if you're interested, go over to censored.tv, censored.tv. And there's an archive of the Radio Deadly Show. It's behind a paywall, so you can subscribe. There's all sorts of other programs over there. But fair warning, The opinions over there are all of them are not ones that I necessarily share or agree with, but the people over there are not afraid to say to give their opinion, whether it's right or wrong, whether it's fucked up or not. Like, if it offends you, some of it kind of offends me. Some of the hosts, some of the stuff that's said. But hey, whatever, man. There was a time where I remember where even in the Misfits, when I'd be out with the hardcore bands, and that's really all we toured with, were hardcore bands. And these guys were what you would describe, without the lunacy and the insanity, they were liberals. They were vegans. They were, they were in disagreement on some of my positions and my ideology that I had, and we would talk about it, and nobody cared. At the end of the day, everybody was friends. Nobody then, gave each other the hairy eyeball because, you're that Christian guy. Oh, you're that fucking vegan guy. Get out of my face. You fucking squirrel. I would say, but whatever. Yes, we're mentally tough enough to deal with it. It wasn't like this soul crushing thing where people needed to be taken out or brought down a peg or something. It's just wrong. It's just wrong. So that's all I got. Censored.tv if you want to go and check out the archive. I don't do any more shows. Again, I was prompted to do this show because of all that article that came out, the BBC article that's I'm sure going to drop next week about the shows being canceled in the UK. It's not going to do anything good. It's going to say all the same stuff about the Proud Boys and January 6th and everything else, and it's just going to cause just more bullshit. I'm not like, when was the last time there was a picture taken of me with the Proud Boys, or me at a meeting, or me doing anything? When was the last time the Proud Boys showed up anywhere or did anything? Like, what if somebody wants to talk to Enrique or Joe Biggs, or any, talk to them about the Proud Boys. I don't represent the Proud Boys. I don't wave that flag at all. I don't say anything about it. Well, there's associations with these guys. So what the fuck does that mean? I have to stay in my house for the rest of my life? I can't do anything? I can't do anything at all? And don't tell me it's just in music, because it's not. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. It's this whole thing. And I'm just not in this space. Like, if I was a podcaster, or as I was some like radio guy, I'm sure that there would be help. Again, I'm not crying. I'm fighting like hell. It's not like I'm quitting or anything like that. You see what I've streamed. You just whatever. In America, yeah, really, really difficult. Really difficult. But I get out there and I do my thing. Doesn't stop me. It doesn't stop me. And yes, I can defend myself. And I do. I have to carry a fucking gun when I'm out in America because of the danger and the stupid shit that comes into my email and the things that people say to me. Yeah, it's real. That's the thing. It's not a game. It's not a game. To somebody like Jeff Frumesi, like, it's just a game. Like, he has no consequences for things that he says or things that he thinks. But I have to have consequences for the things that I think, or not even the things that I think or say. There's consequences for the things that people think I'd say, and they think that I've said that, or maybe I would have, or maybe there's some sort of affiliation that makes me nervous, and so therefore I'm gonna go on for 40 minutes about how this guy is a racist. The show is like almost an hour. You talk about dehumanizing. Unbelievable. I'll be back at some point in time. I don't know.
Will you dance? Two-step killers, violent marching circles, sick romance. absorb transmission. Will you stop? Bangers, boots, and bodies crushing bodies picked up off the floor. You die to hear your favorite song. Radio deadly, radio